let's see here. And hi, I think we are actually live. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Mav here. We're just getting the stream going. Like, I'm trying new things, trying new stuff with the channel, new services. This is through Restream Studio, so still learning some of the ins and outs of that kind of stuff. But we are now live, I believe, and I'm just trying to verify to make sure that's actually accurate. And yes, it does look like we're live. So welcome to this, everybody. This is just a lot of talk, obviously, going on the last couple days with Halo Infinite and all of the controversy surrounding their decision to delay the co-op and the Forge mode releases with the full game release, which is coming out, we think, in November. So that will no longer launch with Forge and also no longer launch with co-op campaign. And the community, a good amount of the community has been screaming for a delay. Like they're saying, delay the game, delay the game, delay the game, because they want all of it at once, as opposed to getting what has been announced to be coming out at launch. So we've been talking about it a lot because, as you guys know, Kate is a big Halo fan. I am a big Halo fan, as well as we've been talking with some of our friends who even have different opinions that are big Halo fans. But this is just about us kind of breaking down our viewpoint here and kind of digging into some of the ins and outs of the whole Halo situation, if you will. So, hey, babe, thanks for joining me for this.
No problem.
So you've been kind of more like passionate and vocal with me about this, like than you usually do for certain opinions and stuff.
Yeah. I definitely have thoughts and feelings and opinion on this.
Yeah, I've had to hold you back, I think, sometimes for.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna make this tweet, and you're like, and I was like, you think I'll get slaughtered? And you're like, yeah. So I made a tweet. I did make a tweet about it, but
yeah, I'm censoring my wife.
It was pretty PG.
Yeah, that one was. Yeah, it was PG for sure. You could definitely get away with that. Infinite AA in the chat, shout out to you, says massive Halo fan, and I want a good game, but if it's done, they better not delay. So that's the point of contention that some people have. Like, some people are saying, well, it's not done because it's incomplete, right? Because it's always shipped with co-op of some form or fashion, right? And that's the main point of contention here. And for me, it's kind of a interesting situation, and we're going to get into some of that. What is your main take on this, babe? Like, what should they delay or should they not?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Hell no. Like, why? I think everybody is so like emotion driven right now that they're
that's true.
Just thinking with their emotions, and they're not like sitting down and thinking like, okay, do you really, really want them to delay this game? Do you really want to wait to like play the multiplayer and everything? Do you really want that? No, I don't think that you do. So,
yeah. So what some people are saying is, because they were against this originally as well, right? A lot of people were against this when they had pitched the idea of releasing the multiplayer separate from the campaign altogether. So that way they had more time to work on a campaign and just release the multiplayer. What would your take be on if they did that approach?
If they did what? Say that again?
If they only released the multiplayer, the free-to-play multiplayer, and then waited to release the campaign.
Okay, so if you do that, you're going to have a whole new set of people that only want to play the campaign solo be upset now.
Right.
So then it's like you're splitting the community into like 3 different,
even more
situations. Like because there's people that want to play co-op campaign, and there's people that want to play solo campaign. Then there's people that want to play the multiplayer. So you're just like pretty much adding fuel to the fire, in my opinion, if you do that. Right. You're just gonna piss off a whole new group of people.
Okay. Yeah. So part of the problem here is there's not a win situation. Right. So no matter, and everybody was excited because of the last flight. We're all hyped because it was great.
It was so good.
Oh, like people were so hyped, and then you give us that news, and now it's like people are like, oh shit, another thing to be disappointed with Halo about, and there's no like just perfect path at this point, right? Because no matter what you do, because of a mistake with probably original game design that they made a long time ago, is probably why they're in the situation they are now. And the situation for me is what it is at this point, right? There's no correct path forward that's going to please everybody, right?
Even if none of this were a thing, people would still probably find something to be upset about.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like we're fans, and the fans are kind of putting them always in like a lose-lose situation when it comes to something.
Well, Halo is always in a lose-lose situation because of precedent. Halo has to do more than any game when it launches, because it's already, they got to make it feel new, but they also can't have it disappoint traditionalists, right? Then they all legacy players that want the true Halo experience, right? But then they got to move it forward for the players that are like, oh, you need to modernize it, right? So they got what they achieved with the multiplayer was like the amazing perfect balance. I don't know how they figured out how to do that, but it was absolutely perfect, right?
Yeah.
So they got to do that. They got to nail it. They got to nail the multiplayer, which a lot of people are confident on right now. Then they have to have a amazing story, because the main complaint with Halo 5 was the story. It wasn't graphics, it wasn't a lot of other things. It was a multiplayer. It wasn't a lot of things. For most people, it was story. So they got to have an amazing story. Then they got to have co-op, right? To add into this focused single player story experience, you got to have the co-op, because guess what? There's a precedent that there's co-op now, because every Halo has had co-op, even if it's a not actually makes sense for the story ever, right? It's always been an added feature that has added replay value to the game. So you got to have the co-op. Then guess what? Now, because they implemented Forge at one point, now you got to have Forge mode. You got to have Forge mode because you need to let us all customize this experience. Then not only that, you have to at some point include a firefight type mode, because they did that before. And no matter what you miss out on, then you got to have assassinations. You got to have this. No matter what they don't put in the game, there is a large amount of people, because of the passion behind Halo, that is going to be extremely disappointed about some feature or something that is missing. And in today's day and age, when you see all these games get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they take so much more time to develop, and they require all these more people and all this stuff, and then you throw in wrenches like COVID and all these other things, it gets hard to come up with everything that everybody wants on time. So do you just keep delaying inevitably until it's everything everybody wants? Or do you start somewhere knowing you're going to keep putting in the effort and work with this game over a 10-year period at least, and make sure that it is always getting the attention it deserves with updates? And that's what they're promising. So at some point for me, I'm just like, you got to go. You got to release the game. You know what I mean? They already delayed it a year. So it's ready. It's go time. I don't think it's in the best interest of the franchise if they miss out on the 20th anniversary of Xbox and the 20th anniversary of Halo at launch, because they already missed the last milestone with the launch of the Xbox Series X. But I understand people's disappointment. right? That's the thing, is like, this is not saying, hey, you guys don't have a right to be disappointed. Everybody has a right to be disappointed. It's just,
For sure. And I
what's
think
the
that
right
they've
path
totally
forward?
shot themselves in the foot for doing this.
Yeah, people do want Halo now, but like that, the thing is,
But will
people
it,
hold.
is it like, why are we like assuming that it's going to be buggy?
I'm not. It better not be buggy. That's the thing.
I
If
mean, if
it's
it's buggy,
buggy,
then
that's a different story.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, what 3-Bit says, he always sees people say delay games for better experiences, but when it's Halo, peeps want it now. I get it though. I want it ASAP, but just want it to not release buggy, half finished. We'll see. The thing for me is like, too, is it half finished if it's missing co-op? Or is that just one feature of the game, right? Because you're talking about a whole campaign that you can play through single player wise, right? And have that amazing experience. Still, you can still have the great experience. You're missing the co-op with friends, which you can have later. But buggy is a different story. I see a lot of people comparing this to Cyberpunk, right? And the delays with that. And for me, this is like a completely different situation, because the issues with Cyberpunk was that it was bugs, the game wasn't working properly, frame rate issues, all these other things. If Halo releases in that state, they should have delayed, but we don't
Yeah.
know that yet. These are just presumptions based on the fact that the co-op isn't there. I think personally, the reason the co-op is not there at launch is because it was never factored into the original game design when they decided to make it an open world Halo game. They don't know how to solve the problems potentially with these spawning and stuff like that. And that's a completely separate issue than having a buggy game.
You think
That
sometimes people just hear the word delay and they automatically think like buggy?
I think so. Right. But this game is missing on two of these features, right? The rest of the experience is there at launch, and then we know what their plan is, at least going forward. Here's the other thing too. They did at least tell us what their plan is, whereas other games in the
Yes.
past said like, hey, we're going to release this, but in the future we're going to give an update. We don't know when, just bear with us, right? They at least told us what their goal is here, which sets a clear example of what their idea is, right? So that they're setting themselves up for more disappointment if they don't meet those goals. Even if they did say it's not 100%, they are setting expectations for when that stuff is going to be out. So they are going to try and meet those goals. That's another thing. Like the Cyberpunk situation, we have a lot of updates and stuff. We still don't even have the next gen optimization on that, which was probably pushed back because they're having to fix the rest of the game so much. Now, if Halo launches in that state, that's no excuse, and they're going to deserve everything they get for that, right? They're going to deserve every bit of crap they get for that. But this delaying the co-op mode, which is one aspect for me, doesn't. That's the only one everybody's even talking about. Nobody's even talking about Forge, right? So delaying the co-op mode, because that's the one people actually are caring about, doesn't necessarily translate to me as this game is buggy, right? We'll see when it launches, right? So we'll see. But the other thing, 3-Bit, like, I see what you're saying about the Halo dev. I brought that to the attention of 3 other guys last night because I was trying to get something going regarding those comments, and they all told me they're like 90% sure, whatever, that's fake. So, but even if you go and translate into what those comments are on the from that dev, he said that people are going to really like the campaign, that it's going to get done, and that it's going to do well. So there's a lot of positive things to take away from that as well. I don't think any dev out there doesn't want more time to put into their games. Like it's not like a sample size or smaller focused indie game. This is a massive thing, right? So for me, it's like, hey, go. get it out when it's the best and it makes the most sense for this game. But if it's done minus the co-op, and then release the co-op after, if that's what's best for the game in their eyes, let's do it, even though it sucks, right? It's a bitter pill to swallow. But delaying the whole thing past that 20th anniversary, past holiday, past all these other things, doesn't necessarily mean it's what's best for even the Halo players, because what's best for Halo is probably also going to be best for the Halo players in the long run, because the more successful the game is, the more stuff and the better the experiences we're going to get in the future. So I want what's best for Halo, so that way Halo is the best it can be going forward.
I kind of see people, like, you know, the people that want it delayed saying that, like, all the people on the opposite side are, like, being selfish and stuff. But, like,
Yeah,
doesn't that kind of, if you think about it, couldn't that kind of go both ways?
Well, right, because you're saying, like, well, like, okay, their numbers they put out or whatever is like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's something.
No,
like,
I'm saying, like I care more about multiplayer.
Right.
Okay, and then you care more about, not you, but just saying, care more about having, like, campaign co-op. So I'm selfish for wanting the game to come out still. But, you know, couldn't you say the same thing? Couldn't I say the same thing about you?
Right. I think so. What there was numbers put out there, like statistics about like a certain percentage of people playing co-op campaign, and it was like a lower number, right? So people
not
are
that we
using
should discount those people,
No,
though.
exactly, and I think that's where people are.
And I definitely sympathize with all sides.
Like I said, it sucks. It's a bad situation. There's no win forward with this either way. But when you look at the 12, let's say it's 15%. Okay, I think it was ballpark around that number. 15% is what plays co-op campaign or something like that. Okay, and then you look at how many of those play it first within the first 3 months. Also, potentially could be even a little bit lower. So if you let's just say 15%, we're planning on playing co-op campaign at launch, right? At that point, we would be potentially delaying a game for that 15%. So if not delaying the game, if delaying the game for those 15% means it's not selfish for those 15%, well, what if the 15% is keeping the 85% from playing by not what people are saying is crying about it, right? Like complaining, trying to get the game delayed. So where the 85% don't get to play it at launch. So there's like, that's what the opposite side of it, I think, like is like, it's kind of like, okay, there's a smaller portion of people that are really upset about this, that are making the loudest noise. But if it got delayed, it would affect everybody. But the main experience could still be great. But we don't know until the game comes out, right? KhAos says, I think they made a tough decision to make, and from a business and fan standpoint, this is the best solution they came up with. I'm 100% with that. That is exactly what I'm saying. Like from you got to look at this from all perspectives, including theirs, right? Including theirs. This is what makes the most sense. If the co-op is not ready, like
this is a company at the end of the day.
Delaying it would be so bad for the game. Like, I don't think people really understand what that means business wise for them, right? Like for Halo, it is not a good thing for Halo to push it out of the holiday on the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo. It's not a good thing to push it past that. Is it a good thing not to have co-op? No, it sucks, but that's the hand that we're dealt, because 343 didn't, and whoever was in charge of making those decisions when the original game was being designed didn't make co-op a primary focus. That's on them. There's no excuse for that, unless they planned that they didn't even want to add it originally, and they should have said that, right? I'm all for creators making the game design the way that they want to make it the best for everybody. But if they just decided, hey, people are going to want co-op, so let's tack it on later, that's what they did here, and that's what is not okay, right? Like that's what they really screwed up with. So there's like a no-win situation here. So let's move forward with the plan that they set, that the suits deemed best for the game, I guess, right? And if it's buggy as hell, then they're gonna get a whole different side from me on this. Then they should have delayed, but that's not what they're saying right now. So, Shizno says if they're comfortable releasing the game, they are who are we to say otherwise? We aren't the ones making it. Yeah, that's true. But then also we saw like what Cyberpunk released at, right? Like, so sometimes they do release the games regardless, you know?
So I have a question about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, as K-Med said, 15% of people are pissed, but that's just the way it is. Yeah.
There's gonna be a percent of people that are pissed no matter what.
Yeah.
No
then
matter what.
There's some people saying, oh, it doesn't even matter. It's not a big deal. Who cares? Well, you got to also say, yeah, for those people, it does matter a lot, because I've seen from people like the first thing they do with Halo, every Halo that's come out, is they play with their dad or their brother or their best friend, and that's what they do at launch. And this is taking that away from them.
And I definitely feel for those people. Like, so we were gonna play it together.
Yeah, we were, but y'all had to talk me into it because I wanted to play it by myself. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just a personal thing for me. Like, whenever I play Halo, I always have wanted to like stop and look at what I want to look at. You know what I mean? I want to take in the story at my own pace. You know, I want to. If I don't understand something, I want to stop and try and figure it out. You know,
but you also never had friends before. I'm just kidding.
That's true.
I'm kidding.
That's true. But I've always been that solo player first with Halo, because the story is very personal, right? It's like your journey through the Halo universe. And I feel like I've had my journey through the Halo universe, through all the Halo games. And for me, playing co-op first in a Halo game takes a lot of that away, because instead you're you know, it is a social experience at that point, because you're having fun with your friends, running around, shooting stuff, joking, talking about things. But I'm missing a core element of the deeper aspect of it, right?
Just completely immersing yourself in it.
I want to be completely immersed in Halo my first time through, right? That's just the way I've always experienced it. So that's what I want from it, right?
Yeah. See, for me, I wouldn't even play the campaign at all if it wasn't for y'all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just about the multiplayer.
Yeah, so that's what some people have been saying. Like, hey, let's just get the multiplayer out and then release the campaign later. Which, you know what I mean? I'm not going to honestly say that wouldn't be the worst. So no
campaign at all, you mean?
But I don't know. That's the game. That's one of the big titles. If I'm still standing behind the fact that if the campaign's ready, launch it. And then there could be kind of some tying aspects between the campaign and that free-to-play multiplayer that we don't know about right now. So like, we don't know how that would affect the whole experience, right? So what's up, R-Rob? How's it going? Dan Lazaro, how's it going? Shizno, 3-Bit was on the Iron Lords today, and it was absolutely awesome to see him in the realm with the Lords hanging out. Representing the podcast that he's all on and his YouTube channel on the Lords. He did a great job, dude. So I was super happy to see that. You had a lot of people watching you, bro. A lot of people watching you, man. You did good. Man, it is.
Okay, so not every game has co-op campaign. So I mean, like,
that's another valid.
It's like at the end of the day,
conversation.
Are they really releasing a incomplete game?
It depends. Here's the thing. That's why it's more about marketing, right? This is where something like in business that I've learned is how you spin things and how you present things. It completely tells the story for the audience and what their experience is. It's about meeting expectations, setting expectations, and either over delivering or under delivering. Okay. So for example, Ghost of Tsushima, which was a lot of people's game of the year last year. And I brought this up because I think it's valid with this. Okay. It launched last year, setting the expectation. It's a single player focused experience, right? No other aspects to it. They delivered, and they delivered a great experience. People are extremely happy. Nothing else to it besides that, right? It is a very fulfilling experience, though. It is a big game, right? If Halo Campaign was that and it launched by itself and that's all they'd ever announced, how would it have presented? They can't do that. Halo has precedent, right? Ghost of Tsushima never had precedent. But what did Ghost of Tsushima do? A few months after launch and their successful launch, they announced a free co-op mode coming to the game that you're not going to have to pay for. Everybody's like, "Whoa, this is awesome! We get this awesome co-op experience in Ghost of Tsushima completely for free. We had no idea that this was even coming. That's amazing. Thank you, Sucker Punch. That's absolutely amazing for including and giving this to us for free, right?" So if they had originally told people about this co-op experience and said it was going to be part of the game, right? And then closer to launch, they're saying, "Hey, we're going to push that back." Would you have the backlash? Probably you would, right? So that's the difference. Like, we don't know originally if that was planned. They had to have been working on it, so it had to have been planned. You know what I mean? So it's about setting expectations and meeting those expectations. The thing about Halo is those expectations are already set by the fans because of the Halo experiences delivered in the past. And it's not like they're in a no-win situation because of how big Halo is and everything that it's delivered on in the past. They can't get away with having a game like God of War or Ghost of Tsushima or anything like that, because those are only single player experiences, right? And then coming out with a co-op mode after. This is different, right? Like,
they could also like set expectations with, thinking they're going to be able to deliver, and there can just, life happens. There's been the whole pandemic, and I did see someone say that they watched like the video and so that they feel bad for complaining now. And I didn't watch the video, so I don't know exactly what they're...
Because they went into like the hard decisions and stuff that they had to make for this and stuff. And they get that it's, as 3-Bit says, an integral part of the development. 3-Bit says here, I didn't see much review scores complain about The Last of Us 2 multiplayer missing. I'm trying not to sneeze.
Go ahead. Do it.
I better not. No. So I better not see it with Halo. Oh, Last of Us 2 still doesn't have the multiplayer component promised. Right? So not a lot of people are talking about it or complaining about it. Right? So like, it's just like this expectation with Halo. And it is so hard for them to meet that, especially today. They also are putting in a new engine with all of this. So it sounds like I'm making excuses for them, right? Like I said, they screwed up early on when they did not make the co-op a integral focus of the design of the game. When they made that mistake is when they screwed up. They're still dealing with the consequences today of early problems with the development of Halo Infinite. That's what the problem is. And should they delay it because of that? Still, no. They need to get the game out for the 20th anniversary of Xbox, 20th anniversary of Halo. Let's go. Let's play the sucker. The campaign is finished, according to them. They're just working on more polishing. They're in the shutdown phase. Let's get it out. Let's play the heck out of that multiplayer that we've all experienced and can already stand behind. People can already stand behind that, have played that multiplayer experience and say, hey, that's a great experience, right? So let's get this stuff out, and then 3 months later, we'll be excited to play with each other on co-op. I'm going to have something else now to look forward to after the launch, knowing that that's coming. And as I joked about on the podcast on Friday night, hey, at least we already know what season 2 and season 3 content is planned. Hey, that was a big announcement.
So, are you planning on playing the campaign?
Oh, heck yeah. That's the first thing I'm
by yourself?
Do. Yeah. That's the first thing I have always done with Halo is play the campaign. Well, you know what? I take that back, because the first thing we've actually done is since Halo 3, I think.
Yes.
Because that's when you really got into Halo during Halo 2, right?
Yeah.
And when Halo 3 came out, you were already on board. You're like, okay, I love this game. So the first thing since Halo 3 we did was we played multiplayer together.
Yep.
Right. And then we did that for a little while. Then I went and started the campaign.
Pretty much came in. What's up, Indy? You know my thoughts always when it comes to all of this stuff.
What's up, Indy?
These are just video games. Like, these are just meant for us to enjoy and have fun. Like, it's not that serious. Like, I know y'all are way more immersed in all the stuff that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What goes on behind the scenes, like, I don't really know as much, but but like all these people like giving the developers and stuff a hard time, like, I don't know, I don't get it. Like, these are just video games, they're just meant to have fun. It's not that serious. There is way more like important things that we could be like getting, passionate about going on in the world right now.
I don't think anybody should be going after devs, period, because ultimately, like, going after any of them is, you can talk about the problems with the development of the game, but like going after devs and like really like arguing against them and stuff is individuals, especially like they made mistakes, right, along the way, but we don't, whose fault is that? We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been an executive, it could have been like the creative director at the time. We know that Chris Lee was replaced. So the mistakes that were made in the past, they're still feeling today with the design of the game, and trying to fix all that stuff. So it's a crappy situation. Individual developers don't deserve any hate for this. They're trying to release a polished game.
Do you think that they want to make these announcements and knowing that all these people are going to be pissed off? Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah. Yeah. Sup, Phasma. Sup,
Phasma.
Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Also, the crazy thing about this, like, I feel like a lot of times, like, Xbox fans are all united on similar topics, right? But like this one individually, like, I saw Colt Eastwood actually had made a post on Twitter, and it was like a Captain America Civil War scene with Iron Man fighting Captain America, saying it's like Xbox fans right now. And it's interesting because this has been so divided within the Xbox community that it is very opposing, like, views. And the interesting thing is with that is, guess what? Like, I don't think anybody's actually wrong. Like, I have my opinion on what I think they should do. I understand other people's points of view with this.
Same.
Right? And I think there is a no-win solution here because ultimately, no matter what, it sucks either way, right? So for me, I'm thinking about what's best for the Halo, and what my opinion is to go ahead and get it out. And Indie Gamer makes a good point in the chat here. He's saying they have been forced to release for the Christmas season, so they've taken out core elements of the game in order to maintain this release. They want the sales and Game Pass subs around Xmas. I don't disagree with that. How core is the co-op? That depends on the person, right? Numbers suggest that it's not played as much as the other components of the game. However, they've always associated Halo with the co-op experience as well, even coming from the developer's mouth. So I would say, yeah, it is one of the core elements. Now, that being said, the mistake of that, I think, was made a long time ago, not just now trying to rush it out. I think they screwed up a long time ago, and with the design elements of what the game is, and just didn't really put too much focus on the co-op until too little too late. So we're going to see, like, if they can get it working, if they can't get it working. You know, I think what's best for the co-op also is to release the co-op at the best experience it can be. So this 20th anniversary of Xbox, 20th anniversary of Halo is a huge event, right? You don't get 20th anniversaries like all the time, right? Like, for me, the best case scenario is Halo campaign is polished. It is a great polished experience. Joseph Staten had come in and righted the ship and fixed the development processes that were in place to get the campaign where it needed to be to release a polished, focused campaign experience. And the multiplayer is also great, and it launches with a big celebration for Xbox and Halo on November the 15th with a big launch party that lasts 3 or 4 hours. And then at midnight that night, launch Halo for the 20th anniversary.
Yes.
With a huge celebration for Xbox and gaming. And as long as the game isn't buggy, then I'm down. That's what I want. I think that's what's best for Halo. I think that's what's best for Xbox. I think it's going to increase Xbox's business. It's going to increase the Game Pass subscriptions. It's going to get more people to play Halo, which in turn is better for the Halo gamer because they're going to get more attention to the game in the long run because there's more of a focus in people playing it. But if they do release it buggy, then I take all that back.
Yep.
Right? That's it. And I don't necessarily associate this with that. Right?
No. Like I said, I think people see the word delay and they just automatically think buggy.
Yeah, because of other situations.
Yep.
Like Cyberpunk.
Exactly. Now, are they saying that the co-op campaign and the Forge and stuff are going to be seasonal content?
They said that they're going.
Did they say that exactly?
Not necessarily. They said that they're going to release. Their plan is to release.
They're just using it as a time frame.
As a time frame,
right?
They're planning on releasing the co-op with the season 2 content. That's what the goal is, because they have a huge update and patch at those times when the new seasons come out, and that's what their plan is, to get the co-op with that update.
So I don't think they're necessarily saying like this is a seasonal content.
Yeah, when I'm saying they'll probably promote it as that a little bit, like going forward, because they're going to try and drive sales of the seasons. They'll probably mention, "Hey, co-op's here." If they do that, that's kind of like, I don't think they should do that.
No, I agree.
But they may. We'll see. That'll be interesting. I'm going to be watching for that. But
at the end of the day, is it really a big deal?
No.
No.
Really. Yeah, our Rob makes a good point. He says, I'll be honest, I'm worried as hell about the servers. Halo 5 still has issues, and the way MCC launched makes me worry. Hey, man.
Can we really blame them for launch day?
Launch
servers
day, no.
are fucked up?
Not on a game like this. It's going to be so many people trying to play
exactly.
Free to play Halo multiplayer. Launch on PC, Xbox. You can even play it on your freaking smartphone via xCloud. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a lot of people playing this game at launch, and it's going to be
So
way
should you
more
almost
than
expect
anybody.
for the servers to
Anybody
be
is,
kind of shitty?
yeah, that happens with every big multiplayer game. It happens with Call of Duty.
Within
It
the
happens with
first week,
Battlefield. It happens.
yes, I agree,
They
K-Med.
need to get it fixed quickly. Yeah.
But like night of, when it first goes live, yeah, I expect the servers to be a little shoddy.
Yeah. I see a lot of people like when these games like, hey, they released it broken because they having server issues right when it released. That's not the same thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, there's when you release a big multiplayer online game, there's like certain things that you got to work through. Probably it's always a surprise. Now, what happened with Outriders was different. Outriders lasted a long time, and when they actually made serious mistakes that they even publicly acknowledged, and then when they tried to fix them, they made more mistakes. So that's like a different scenario. But as far as a lot of these games, when they launch big multiplayer games, the day one, you're probably going to have some stuff like that. But I think it's going to be in the long run like completely fine.
I just want to say,
yeah, go ahead, babe.
I was just going to say what's up to Cyber Gunter, Tony, Nola, Chris Jones. I don't know if I missed anybody. I can't scroll on this restream thing.
Yeah.
So what's up, guys?
Yeah, I wanted to raise an important thought and question, because this popped into my head actually when I was watching Iron Lords towards the end this morning, because I remembered during the announcement of this that Joe Staten kept using the words live service, right? So they are acknowledging and completely pushing this as a live service game at this point, okay? Which means updated content, seasons that you're going through. Like, what does live service mean for them? Like, is MCC a live service game at this point because it gets seasonal updates? I don't know exactly where they're going with that, but for most people, when you use the term live service, they're automatically thinking Destiny. They're automatically thinking like Marvel's Avengers, you know, those kind of games, right? So I think they should be extremely careful using the term live service, and I hope they're not doing it as an excuse to release content later, simply because live service has an assumption of co-op with a lot of the games, like Destiny and all those games. Like, can you think of a live service game that's not co-op? Anybody in the chat? I'm really curious, because that, I think, term to a lot of people means like a online experience, right? Live.
Hey, Micah. Hey, Paul.
Right. So, and I don't think you can use the free-to-play multiplayer live service model as an excuse for the single player. So that's making me thinking, what direction are they going with the single player with the content? How are they going to deliver this stuff? This is the stuff I want more information on. My biggest critique of Halo right now is not that the co-op is missing at the launch of the game. My biggest critique of Halo right now is we don't actually know what the plan is for the campaign and the content that is to be included in the $60 package, and what is going forward with the live service model. It's been very vague. And I'm not saying there's necessarily, it's not like doomsday or anything like that. I just want to know, like, tell us what we're buying. What are we, you're saying this is a 10-year plan and you're charging $60 for that? Tell people what that plan is. Like, what is the direction of this game over time? What are you going to be doing with it? How is this live service? What does that mean for Halo? I can't recall any interview or bullet point informational thing or anything that's actually explained what is going to be included in that $60 package over time. And the reason is, I don't think they even know. I think their plan is let's just get the game out and we're going to keep updating it over time like they did with MCC, and they're going to keep coming out with content and see what it turns into. Is that a bad plan? I don't know, but like if I'm spending $60 on something, I want to know what it is, right? And if you're saying live service, that comes with an expectation of live service. And live service shouldn't only be giving us the things that were supposed to be included at launch. Right? So tell us more. Like I am surprised about that still.
We
And
have
I'm
some
surprised
comments
there's
in
not more
the
discussion.
chat if you want to.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Shout them out.
Let's see. R-Rob says he assumes it's like Gears 5, but they should be clarifying it. Yeah, but that's the multiplayer. Like that doesn't go into the single player. Is there any seasonal content that goes into the live service aspects that goes into the single player? Rick says so for him it's a bigger picture.
He said, Mav, the concern for me and maybe others is that Xbox does not have a good track record of high quality games, and Halo is a massive game. We keep seeing these types of things from Xbox. We want quality.
Yeah, to me, this doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be quality. That's the one big thing, Rick. Like people automatically are assuming that because it doesn't have the co-op mode in it, it's not going to be quality. That's if it's not quality when it comes out, that's a whole different story. We can have a different discussion.
Absolutely.
You know? But right now,
and
this is a mode. That's a mode that's missing at launch. I saw the Enola comment that I wanted to get to. Let's see here. Yeah, he says all favorite games are live service: Destiny, Borderlands, The Division, Elder Scrolls Online. Those are all have big like story based experiences based around co-op and multiplayer. That's my thing. Live service, that's usually what people associate it with, right? So they have to be careful using that term when referring to the campaign. Because Joe Staten said that. He said this is a live service, so to me it's never actually truly complete. They're going to keep adding content to it.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean for Halo?
Paul said, also, we don't know why co-op is being delayed. I explained at Good Morning Xbox, shout out to y'all, that there is a lot to adding co-op to a game.
Yeah, there is. That's what I think is going on, Paul. I don't think this actually has to do with the campaign, any campaign issues in itself. I think it has to go with them not having the foresight or planning ahead of time a long time ago to make co-op a core element in this game. And instead they're trying to put it in the game and are trying to figure out how to do so. I think that's probably what's going on. And that's where they made the mistakes, right? Mike, what's up, Mike? He says, having a polished local and online multiplayer as well as a polished single-player campaign. Some people want to delay the game for content. Battlefield 2042 has no campaign. Call of Duty has no co-op. None have Forge. Good points.
But like we said,
I would say
everybody
Battlefield
expects
almost Forge mode this year with Portal.
Everybody expects Halo to just come with it all.
Yeah, it's a precedent.
Yeah,
you know, it's this. Anything less is not acceptable. When it comes to Halo,
like we keep saying, they're really putting them in like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, and I see like to 3-Bit's point earlier, he's saying, but people are like saying, hey, if this is finished, just launch it because it's Halo. That's not Halo. For me, always has more than any other game, so it's already giving a lot.
Yeah,
more than other games do at launch anyway. But for this, so different now because you're gonna, even if you don't buy the $60 package, you still get the multiplayer. So for $60, you're just buying the campaign. That's what I want to know. I want to know what the 10-year plan is because that's what you're buying for $60.
Paul said new engine too. They might have run into unforeseen issues. Yep. Rick said, I understand Forge, but co-op is very important. Lost said co-op should have been baked in from the start. Indy said, seems strange that they would shoehorn it in as an afterthought. It's been a core aspect of the franchise for a while.
Yeah, I agree, but that's the situation that we're in, right? Like if it was a core aspect from the get-go, it would be here at launch. It wouldn't even be a question.
So you don't think that they were going to include it this time?
No, there was that rumor, the leak going from the dev that I don't know if it's real. I've been told by numerous people that thing is fake. When I saw it yesterday, I was ready to go live. I wanted to talk about it because it seemed realish to me, but based on who was sharing it and where the source came from, a lot of people were saying this is like, I'm almost sure it's bogus. That's what they were telling me. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna give attention to it. But if you do take things that were in that into account, it reads as if it was an afterthought, right? Which, breaking it down with how that person did, whether it's real or fake, it makes sense with where we're at today. I believe it was a misstep in game design when they were going to the open world campaign and not really thinking about how is this going to work for the co-op. Because I think they're having trouble figuring those solutions out. Because it is different. You got to think about, like 3-Bit I heard say on the Iron Lords today, the single camera focused experience where it doesn't transition out. It's just like, how is that going to work with the co-op? That there's things that they have to work through. Checkpoints. Can people go anywhere? Are you restricting them to certain sections? There's a lot of things with the game that is complicated for solving with co-op, because Halo's always been designed as a single player game. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, hey, co-op is a core element of Halo. Yeah, that's true, but it's also not really, because if it was, the story would have been designed around 4 Spartans. You have 4 Master Chiefs running around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got 4 Master Chiefs. There's no explanation for that. You're supposed to be the only one. Like, you're not blue, except for like Halo 5, where they actually did finally explain that and make sense of it. Besides that, and actually Reach. Did they start that with Reach? It hasn't always been the focal point, right? It's been a tacked on feature in the past. And that goes back to Halo CE, Halo 2, Halo 3, where you just had multiple Master Chiefs running around, right? Like, yeah, it's core in the fact that it's fun to play with friends and it's in the game, but it wasn't necessarily designed around it, right? They added it in there. Otherwise, the story would be completely different. I'm not making any excuses, Lost. They messed up.
I don't know if he's saying that to you, or if he's saying, like, he's like your fucked up brother who you make excuses for. I don't know if he's talking to you or just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, 343 screwed up a long time ago. This is a big black eye on 343's face. They should have made it a core focus with the development of the game. It's not here at launch. Does that mean we delay the game again? No, I don't think so.
Jigga J said Halo will be great. I'm just mad at 343 failed in having everything ready and gives people ammo for negative talk. This co-op Forge delay doesn't affect me, as I only really care about campaign/multiplayer. Yeah, see, Lost was like talking about like Microsoft's brother.
I don't know who that is.
No, he's like, it's like your sibling that always fucks up that you make excuses for. Like, he wasn't saying it to you.
Right. Regardless, it's they screwed up, but what's the point of just like badgering them? right? Like, it doesn't do any good right now. Like, we can say, yeah, they screwed up. They did. I've said it on this show numerous times.
I mean, they knew
It's a no-win
what
situation.
They knew what was going to happen when they announced that.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, you know.
It is at this point right now. It is what it is. So then there's only two solutions, and nobody wins in either way.
But we all win at the end of the day because it's a video game and it's going to come out and we're going to have fun and enjoy it.
Exactly. That's the other point. Is that we're all going to have a lot of fun with this game.
And this is just an escape from everyday life. Have fun with it. It's all meant to be fun.
I feel like some people do think, though, that because you're saying don't delay and you're explaining maybe the reasons behind things, that you're making excuses for them, right? Like you're just pandering. Like,
absolutely not.
Xbox is no, there's nobody to blame here. It just is what it is. You know, it's just it happens. You know, no, this sucks. They should have gotten this right. There is no real good excuse for the situation that they're in, minus possibly COVID. I don't know like what went on with the dev there, but this should have been an integral part of the development early on. And I think we know that the shift of this game changed at one point.
I feel like before
that point, there's a lot of mistakes made.
I feel like a lot of people think there's like just two sides to this. There's the people that are like, don't delay. There's the people that are like, delay it. And it's like the people that think that the ones that are saying like, don't delay it, like that you can't still be upset with 343 over it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't want it delayed, but do you still think like it's effed up? Yeah.
Yeah. If the campaign is not polished, different discussion.
Exactly.
If the only thing that they needed to work on was co-op and Forge, release the sucker.
Also, right? What's up with the assassinations? Is that for multiplayer?
No, there's just no assassinations right now.
So they're going to add in multiplayer, right?
Potentially, if they can make it work for the balancing of the game, because
I just don't understand. Like, that seems like such a small aspect to the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
No, I like that.
They're
love
cool.
Doing them.
So some people really like them. You know, they're cool for certain things, especially recording videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like ultimately,
I'm a little surprised that they that would be a tough thing to add.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that though, so
it's because of the balancing, they said, because when you assassinate somebody, you're exposed, right? And with the I think because Halo Infinite has a faster movement speed and is a smaller map as well, because they made it more of the traditional arena style Halo. You're left open more, and like there's really no point in ever doing it because you're just going to get yourself killed. Gotcha. So they got to figure out a way to
balance it,
to balance it, to make it implement it. So it's according to them, it's a game design thing, and they don't want to just have it in there just to have it in.
And I guess I wouldn't think that it would take that long for them to figure that out.
It'll probably come out with one of the updates.
But yeah, that's really not a.
So I want to answer this question from Indy on the stream here too. What's up, Jigga J? What's up, Micah? Indy says, do I feel 343 are being forced to release by Xbox this year, or is it their decision to? If you're asking me honestly, I think they're being forced to release it this year. I don't think if it was the devs' decision, they would ever release a game without the co-op. Right? I think it's Xbox's decision. Now, does that necessarily make it the wrong decision? It depends. Like at what cost? What's best for the game? What's best for everybody in the long run? And you got to think of it. You can't just think of it, unfortunately, from the fans' side. You also have to think of it from the business side. It's an unfortunate reality, but the business side affects also the fans, right? So if the game misses out on the 20th anniversary of Xbox, that's another huge loss. Huge, because they lost last year when they weren't able to get the game out for the launch of the Series X, which they had been talking about promoting. That was their plan. That's what they wanted, right? They missed it. They delayed it by a year. Now you have another opportunity. Okay, you delay it by a year, but we can release it with the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo. We can have a huge launch event. We can move on and have a polished campaign. We can have a great multiplayer experience at launch, and we're going to move forward with that and get millions of people playing the game this holiday season. It doesn't have the same effect in February. Unfortunately, it just doesn't. Right? Now, what causes that? You know, I don't understand exactly why November games are always that much more popular. It just happens. This is going to be a hot ticket item for Christmas. It's going to be a hot ticket item for Game Pass, right? A lot of things. Does that mean it's the wrong decision for the game to do that if the co-op isn't in there? No, I don't think so, because it's one element. They can add that, which they've already established the plan. I want more people to play Halo. For me, the most people that play Halo is the best for Halo. It means we're going to get more content. It means we're going to get more focus on the game. It means we're going to get more investment. It means we're going to get more different Halo stuff. And I love the franchise. I want that, right, for Halo. So now if the game is buggy, again, I'll say this for the 10th time, if the game is buggy, it's a different story. Don't release a broken mess. Don't do a Cyberpunk, right? If it can't run on an Xbox, original Xbox One, except for like 15 frames or whatever, you know what I mean? You got to either cut that out or like figure out something. Like, you don't pull a Cyberpunk. Like, if that's what the situation is, different story. But not having a mode at launch doesn't equate to that for me. That's different. Must have been a tough decision. It's obviously been driven by the potential to get Game Pass subs and console sales, and they must have thought the game is good enough shape, even though no co-op. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think they actually looked at it. They made the decision not to launch last year, right? And obviously there was probably no way they were going to. Knowing what we know now, there's no way they were going to do that. I'm shocked they couldn't get the co-op up and running in the last year. That is like super surprising. And the only thing I can think of is adjustments and changing in the game focus that Joseph Staten may have implemented. Maybe there's more changes with the game than we originally thought when he came on, and they didn't want to really promote that too much because they don't want to surprise everybody. Like Halo Infinite was in bad shape before, right? But maybe there was more adjustments. Which also, if I'm thinking of having Joseph Staten on board at 343 going forward, and he's making those changes, that's also a good sign for me, because that means that Halo is going to be more of what it should be, and that goes with what's happened on the multiplayer as well. Lost Forever says, so Mav, you order a burger, you're okay to have the patty 3 weeks later? No, but if I order a burger and it doesn't come with the pickles, I'm not going to go back to the drive-thru. I'm just going to say, okay, this isn't the meat. The meat is the single-player campaign. The meat is the multiplayer. Different, you know.
Yeah, you can't really compare.
I can deal without the pickles. You know, like, even if I ordered extra pickles, I'm okay without no pickles. This is the pickles to me. You could say the cheese if you want. If you want to go that far. If you want to make it that integral to the experience, you can say it's the cheese. That's fine. Maybe we're missing the cheese on the burger. You know, either way, I can live with that. But I want that cheese. at some point. What if you love pickles? Hey, that's the thing. Certain people love pickles, and they're really upset about those pickles. You know what I mean? But hey, maybe only 15% of people really care about those pickles. So KhAos says, you're with me as a single player gamer. This doesn't really affect me, but I do feel bad for those who are really into the co-op. That said, unless it's broken, release it. If it's broken, delay it. 100%. That's it. It's if that hamburger patty is like all chopped up and it's like raw and it's like broken into like 3 or 4 pieces and shit, and you try and take a bite and the meat just falls off the damn bun, you know, falls into your lap and you get nasty shit all over you. You know what I mean? Hey, no, delay it. That doesn't. I can live without the pickles. You know, we'll get the pickles eventually. Yeah, I agree. Like for me, I want the story, and I'm gonna play through it by myself.
I definitely feel bad for people that were really looking forward to the co-op, like for sure. Like I feel bad that your favorite part of the game is not going to be there. 100%. Like
this doesn't mean that they didn't screw up, right? And this doesn't mean that it's not a big deal, right? Like
yeah,
it's not a big deal to me, but it is a big deal to some people.
And we sympathize with those people 100%. Like I think that sucks. And they definitely fucked up.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, man, people are so passionate about Halo. Like, what other game will trigger this kind of conversations about a mode being delayed past launch? Because it happens all the time. People are saying, well, Halo can't set the precedent for this. Heck, that happens like every year with several games not having everything at launch now. It's just, unfortunately, it's where the day and age we live in. Last of Us 2, right? Let's not go there. So, you know, there's so many situations you can look at. It's all how you spin it. Halo doesn't have that advantage. Halo has too much precedent. You can't spin things with Halo. People have those expectations before a Halo game is even announced.
I like Nola's point that he just made. You should read that.
I'm hungry. You eating that burger with no pickles?
If hungry.
If hungry, you eating that burger with no pickles. So how hungry are you to play Halo? If you're hungry, you will play it solo. That's funny.
That's funny.
A good one. Like I'm hungry for some damn Halo. That's for sure. I can live without the pickles right now. You know, Halo is the biggest game. Rick Payne said, and this is like something interesting because Halo gets crapped on so much, and people are like, oh, I'm sick of Halo. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. But how come Halo is like the most talked about game franchise? Period. Is there another game franchise that's talked about more than Halo? It's used in comparisons with so many other games, either to shit on Halo or talk about how much they love Halo. It is like so talked about. And it's been so refreshing this year to have so much positive talk about Halo. And then now this happens, and it's their fault. There's no denying that. Yeah, I think it's talked about more than any other systems games, like any other multi-plat game. Maybe COD. I don't know. Like the multi-plat games are like kind of talked about differently, not without like as much passion. A lot, you know, like COD and Assassin's Creed. I think 2 of the biggest multi-plat franchises out there, and they get talked about a lot, you know. But like, I don't know. Is there this much conversation? Like, even when this Assassin's Creed multiplayer thing was announced, this Assassin's Creed live service game, the conversation lasted for a couple days and it was over. It was over. I feel like we've been talking about Halo all year, all last year. So it's because of the budget, maybe. Yeah, I mean, possibly. I think it's for the history and the love of the franchise. Whether you hate it or like it, it's like you have
Everyone's
an
always
opinion
going to
on it.
talk about Halo.
Even the people that say they don't ever play Halo,
Yeah.
talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they say, I haven't ever been a Halo guy, but I'm really excited for Infinite. You know, it's like I hear that all the time. It's so crazy. You know, something's going on this year where it's really captivating people. And maybe with Infinite, it's because of the drought with first party. Do you think Halo Infinite has even more expectations because of the big first party drought that Xbox had, where this is like the savior finally coming, the next big finally first party exclusive game from Xbox, and then this stuff starts happening, right? Is that why it's such a big deal? Sup, Psycho?
Hey, Psycho.
Chris Jones. The Twitter game is talked about as much. Yeah, that Twitter game. Been a lot of that going on. Halo is the only massive game this year to be released. Well, what else is on the slate for the Battlefield's coming out this year? Forza Horizon 5 is coming out this year. Call of Duty Vanguard is coming out this year. Help me out, guys. What else is coming out? Far Cry 6 is coming out this year.
Psychonaut. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I'm distracted right now.
Nobody's talking about Far Cry 6.
I know. Isn't that weird?
It's weird to me. It comes out like in 2 months. Far Cry is a huge franchise. This is going to be the first time we get to play it at 4K 60 on console. A lot of big releases coming this year. Either first party, third party, didn't matter to me. Scorn, yeah, Atomic Hearts this year. I want to see the Gunk. We're supposed to see that in a couple days. Speaking of that, guys, we're gonna have Gamescom streams here on Tuesday. Gonna do the Xbox conference, and on Wednesday we got I got an email about doing the opening night live for Gamescom, and there's supposed to be some announcements for that as well. So I'm gonna do that. 10 Feet Up ask, what did I think about the Infinite flight test, and how does the bad news affect your view on it? I'll let you answer that, babe.
The flight test was absolutely amazing. Could not get enough of it. Tried to get all the playtime in that we could. And the only way it changed my view on everything is I just want more. Oh. I had said I was in Rand's Xbox 2 chat on Friday, and I said it was like I compared it to like drugs. It was like cocaine. It's like the flight test gave me a little bit, and now I'm like hooked, and I need more.
Yeah. Flight test was way beyond my expectations. I'm not exaggerating, guys. I played every Halo. I played every Halo quite a bit. Less of Halo 5 multiplayer just because I didn't dig the feel of it. But I've played every Halo quite a bit, and for me, Halo Infinite's multiplayer, what I've played of it, it feels better than it's ever felt. They completely nailed it. From my perspective, what I am looking for from a Halo game, multiplayer wise, it was perfect with the balancing, the movement speed, all of that stuff. They absolutely nailed it. The announcement for the online co-op thing takes my excitement away from that none. over the moon excited for the multiplayer. Does it hamper my excitement for the campaign? Not really. It puts a little like thought in the back of my mind. Oh, this sucks. I can't play it with friends after I beat it. You know. But I wait a few months for that, and I'm okay. You know, like that's all. That's really the only way this affects me. I have confidence in the game moving forward because Joe Staten is there. And I believe in whatever direction he set the course of the game on. I still think they're dealing with effects from early game design. Yeah, Psycho. What I want to know, babe. You were only going to play the campaign if it was co-op, probably. Are you going to watch me play the campaign, or are you going to play the campaign yourself? You think?
No,
I'm just not interested in campaign.
And I'm not going to watch it because I'm going to wait to play with friends. Right. Like I don't want anything spoiled. And no, I won't play it by myself. So.
Right.
So yeah, I won't be watching you. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you've never been big into the campaigns. So for you, like the only reason
I enjoy the social aspect of gaming.
Right.
There's my games I like to play by myself too, though.
Yeah. Sup, Peter? How's it going? Chris Jones with the $5 super chat. He says, I'm coming for 3-bits ass and Halo Infinite when it releases, even quitting all MMOs I play temporarily for this. Heck yeah, dude. Thank you for this.
Let's go, Chris.
Kate said the same thing on Iron Lords today. She was like, I don't delay it because I can't wait anymore to teabag 3-bit and Infinite.
That's right.
10 feet up says, yeah, it seems they have to restructure the Just Cause Tom Clancy open world formula into more like a traditional Halo experience since Joe Staten got there. That's according to that rumored leak. Like, we don't know if that's real or not, but that's what I read. It seemed realish to me, but the sources are shaky at best. So that's where it gets interesting. If that's real, then it makes sense, right? Yeah, good luck not getting spoilers. Yeah, I have been doing a good job at avoiding that. Personally, I unless you're looking for it, like you can just easily skip past that stuff.
I mean, like honestly, like if I read spoilers or something, it wouldn't really be the end of the world for me. I wouldn't really care.
She doesn't.
But I'm not gonna like purposely like sit there and watch you play the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. A year with Joe Staten will be good enough, I think, but we'll see. Yeah, and I think it goes beyond that. I think the foundation and plans that he set in motion will last years for this game. I just want to know what that is. I'm on that thing. Like they're charging $60 for a live service experience, according to them. Like I want to know what that is. They haven't told me yet, except for a 10-year plan. What does that mean for Halo? I want to know. That's my number one critique that I have for them. And I'm hoping that's the kind of information we get at Gamescom. And I'm hoping maybe that's going to lead to some clarification on why some of the things have happened the way they have with the development of the game. Because on the campaign side, they've been extremely quiet as far as what's in the game. I just want to know, like, what am I spending the money on besides Halo? Right? I'm not, and this is why I don't like the game. Well, it's in Game Pass. It doesn't matter. You know, it's just, people are going to spend $60 on this as a full price game. So therefore they have to release a value of a full price product. Now, if you compare it to other $60 games, it's delivering probably that and more, right? Like, there's a lot of games that release that are way smaller than Halo, or don't have this ambition and content that are $70. So, as far as that goes, that doesn't matter. But still, if you're selling something, I want to know what it is. Yeah, I want. When do you think we are going to get clarification on that stuff? When do we think we're going to get clarification on what's included with the plan and at launch for Halo Infinite?
I saw someone say that they think there's going to be an announcement like this week.
Tuesday. Gamescom is Tuesday. Paul says they won't clarify anything at Gamescom. That's not what Gamescom is for. I agree, but they could release a video or something around Gamescom because they know they have more attention. That could come on Tuesday, like after the Gamescom event that they have. They kind of are known for doing things like that. Like they could have like a Halo trailer at the Gamescom event that sheds some light on something, but then later have like a dev sit down interview that they broadcast or put out on YouTube where they answer a lot of questions. They could do that. I don't know what they're going to do and when, but I want to know some answers, and I also want to know the release date, because when they made these announcements the other day, I think that was now they have a release date in mind after the announcement of the Call of Duty Vanguard release date. So with the Call of Duty Vanguard release date announced, we know that they should have an idea, and they are concrete. He said they are going to release this holiday. They're committed, and we're working out some details on the date. So I think that's coming very soon, probably Tuesday.
Yeah. Which we will be streaming that both days, right?
Yes, Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday is the Xbox event, and then Wednesday is opening night live. No, but those are, for us, they're during the day. So I think they're like around 12 noon.
Because it's in Germany, right?
Yeah. So they're at like 12 noon for us, which would be like 1 p.m. Eastern. So we're probably going to go live about 30 minutes prior to that. So we're around 12:30 p.m. Eastern, roughly, I think, for the opening night live. I got to look and see what time the Xbox event is again. I thought maybe at 10 a.m. If you know in the chat, real quick, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but we're gonna go live 30 minutes before the big shows, Xbox and opening night live. Yeah, Paul. I don't ever want Paul to shut up. I think Paul always has great thoughts, even if sometimes I disagree. Kevin Feige.
It's everybody's got their thoughts and feelings, and we can all respect that.
Yeah, there's no reason
for
any like serious arguing between any people in the community over this.
It's not that serious. There's, like I said earlier, there's way more important things going on in the world, and this is just about video games and having fun. And I know I always say that, I sound like a broken record, but I really feel strongly about that.
Yeah. And hey, if you only care about playing the co-op campaign, it sucks. I'm sorry. It really does. If that's all you were looking forward to for Halo, then, and the best advice I could give at that point, which sucks, self-imposed delay it for yourself. I don't know what the win situation there. Like, self-impose a delay. Like, don't install the game for 3 months. Maybe if you're planning to buy it, you get it cheaper. Even, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's not gonna get delayed at this point. right? So it's not going to get delayed. If that is seriously the only reason you're playing it, then at that point it only affects the people that are only playing that mode for the most part. So you could decide to play it when you're ready to, right? If unless you actually do want to play Halo, then there's a lot of other stuff to play, right? So, and it's going to suck for everybody not having that mode, right? So the game will be out November something, and we will get to all play it. And I think that they probably made the right move, even though it's a hard pill to swallow. So, anything else you want to add, babe?
I think I've pretty much said everything there is to say.
Yeah. Oh, and there's going to be plenty of other stuff. Phasma says there's been plenty of other stuff to play. That
Absolutely.
Time of year. Yep. Far Cry. I'm all over that. Battlefield, all over it. I know Phasma's. I think Phasma, you said you were excited for Battlefield, right? There's Call of Duty. There's a lot of other stuff. My mind's blanking right now. Supposedly we're getting the gunk this year.
Psychonauts 2.
Kena, if you play on PlayStation, that's still coming.
Right.
Psychonauts 2 is this month. Yeah. Oh, Song of Iron.
Iron. We just had Joe on the show.
Yep. Lots of stuff. So, all right, guys. This has been an absolute fun chat. Thank you for everybody that stopped by to hang out.
Thank you all.
We had to something I know it's we keep talking Halo to death, right, in the community right now.
Can you ever talk too much Halo though?
For me, no. I can always talk about Halo. But we gotta at least have our 2 cents out there between me and you, right? Other people on our panel for Xbox Ultimate and stuff, they have different points of view with this, right?
Yeah, you guys can go watch the show from Friday to see some of their takes on it.
Yeah. I know certain people in the community are extremely passionate about this on the other side, right? And are downright angry and making it vocal, right? For me, it's not that serious, you know what I mean? But it does suck. Acknowledging that 343 screwed up. Well, but let's have fun and play Halo this holiday. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a blast. You guys have a great one. Take it easy. Hey, Kate started a YouTube channel.
I did.
We did. So if you guys have time, check it out. It's on her Twitter. Go give her a sub.
It's not on my Twitter, but
it's not on your Twitter.
No, I haven't put it out there yet. I feel bad asking for people to sub, so I'll just let you do it.
Okay, sub to my wife. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, check it out. She's gonna have a lot of YouTube shorts and stuff on there, stuff.
Thank you, Phasma.
On TikTok and stuff.
Phasma, install GTA 5, girl. I want to play with you.
Yeah, and we did both install Battlefront 2 as well. So yeah, check her YouTube out. Also on Twitter, it's Kaitlin X0615.
Oh, so you're doing my outro. Okay.
Oh, you can. Okay.
No, you go. You do it.
And I XOX. I'm so fancy at XOX on Xbox. And hey, come hang out with us. And if you want to listen to any of our shows, Xbox Ultimate, which airs on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, live here on YouTube. Check it out also on Spotify, Google Podcasts. I'm getting the audio from Friday's show up today, as well as Fun Pop is on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. And gonna look forward to having lots of other things, including we have a new thing I'm doing on Mondays. Sorry, my throat went out on me. I need some water. Wednesdays. No, did I say Wednesdays? Jesus. Okay, Mondays. Tidbits.
Tidbits.
Yeah, I got to come up with a jingle. Tidbits is Monday, and that's at
11 Eastern. Yeah. Or is it Central?
No. Yeah.
11 Central. Sorry. Right? I'm just
No.
gonna shut up.
Yes, that's at 11 a.m. on Mondays. Okay, and going through kind of like the look ahead for the week, right? Look ahead for the week, just like little news things that have circulated,
Little tidbits.
little tidbits. Little tidbits of info. People
Little
make fun of me for
tidbits.
saying
Sorry, I'm
tidbits
feeling
sometimes.
feisty right now.
Yeah.
Someone's
So
fucking
we'll
with
be
me.
doing
Someone's fucking with me on Twitter right now, so I'm feeling a little feisty.
that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Give him some of that heat.
Oh, I already called him a fuckface, so.
Oh, okay. I got to see what this is. So yeah, tidbits. That's at whatever time I just said, 12 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, on Mondays. So check for that. It's gonna be usually about an hour long or so, and then we'll randomly go live like this. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Have a great one, and we will see you guys later. Well, Chris, you have to ask Kate about that. That's her thing.
We're like in the middle of like a revamp for that show after 2 episodes.
We'll see where that goes.
It will probably come back in some form, one way or another.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, chat. You guys are awesome.
Y'all take it easy. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.